Yes, thank you very much, Tsudumla, and so nice to be here. Thank you all for joining on this important commemoration for Tibetans. March 10th is a very significant day. I think you all have been addressing this, so I don't have to go into too much details, but this is a day that marks a lot of different things for the Tibetan tragedy. Marks the uprising in Lhasa that was spontaneous, where ordinary people rose up to protect His Holiness from being abducted. And if March 10th uprising had not happened, the Tibetan story could have taken a different turn. So in every case, it just shows that the people of Tibet, the strength of the people of Tibet and their bond to His Holiness and the culture. So today, in 65 years, we look back and we can, Engineer, I can just go on, right? You don't, it's okay, yeah?
Yeah, you can just go on. I'm not going to do the translation today. So.
Okay, yeah. And in Tibet, as International Campaign for Tibet, my organization, we are based primarily here in Washington, D.C. in North America. We were established after His Holiness's historic speech in United States Congress, where he presented the 5-point peace plan for Tibet. It was the first time his speaking to a big delegation in United States Congress at the Tom Lantos Human Rights Group Commission then. And after that speech, there was a lot of support across the aisle in the United States Congress, because there were a lot of congressional leaders at that time who understood what it was living under a communist regime like that. So under those kind of support, the International Campaign for Tibet was established. And following that, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama's travels around the United States also saw how the United States people appreciated his message of peace and compassion and interreligious harmony and interdependence of the world, and it resonated with people widely. So that a lot of American people started supporting Tibet. And that ties to how our organization still exists, stronger than ever after almost over 33 years now since it was established in 88. And we have almost a membership of 100,000 worldwide. We have also now offices in Brussels, in Berlin, in Amsterdam, and we work in a coordinated fashion for Tibet. And all our support is garnered from individual people around the world who care about protecting Tibet, who care about wanting their governments to do something positive to support His Holiness's vision for Tibet. And at this point, we over here focus primarily on United States Congress and United States government action for Tibet. Obviously, the solution for Tibet has to come between the Tibetans and the Chinese leadership is the one who controls Tibet, and Tibetans are the ones who have to be the ones making the decisions. But we feel as an international organization that we are here to advocate for Tibetan voices, whatever those decisions are. And currently, the decision that the Tibetans follow His Holiness's middle way path. And the middle way path looks to a resolution for Tibet within the People's Republic of China. His Holiness views Tibet, the Dalai Lama views every situation from a much wider lens than most of us do, and he envisions looking at the world from a lens where everything is interdependent. He talks about Europe, when Europe nations were fighting each other and hating each other, but now they live together in a European Union that works together. So even for Tibet, he sees it from a vision of that viewpoint where Tibet and Chinese people always have to live together. You share a border and you always have to live together. And the best scenario would be where there was mutual understanding and respect between the two. And that is the basis of his middle way approach, where there is a space for Tibetans to exist as Tibetans, where our culture and religion will thrive, and where we can have the best of the expertise of strength that China has, but also the values and things, culture from Tibetan culture. So you have the best of everything. So that is the vision that His Holiness has, and that's what we work towards. And towards that effect, ICT has been working, and in the United States, we have been really successful in establishing US support for Tibet, not just as small wins, but as policy passed by the United States Congress that has been signed on by the United States President, which looks at having a special coordinator for Tibetan issues in the State Department, whose job is to support support negotiations towards the middle way approach. We currently have a legislation again in the House that was passed by the United States House of Representatives with huge majority bipartisan support, which passed the House floor just last month. And now we are focusing on its passage in the Senate. And what this bill does, it's called Promoting a Resolution to the Tibet-China Dispute. So the first thing this resolution says is that there needs to be a resolution to the Tibet and China dispute that has been ongoing. It says that historically, that Tibet has been part of China since ancient times is inaccurate, and that the Tibetans are a distinct people with their language, culture, and identity. And it says that United States should be looking to counter all the disinformation campaign of the Chinese government. So these are very strong elements in here that is in this legislation, and that's something that we are working on right now. Obviously, United States cannot bring China back to the negotiation table unless China themselves come. But these are steps that we place through legislation that we work on that will strengthen the Tibetan movement. And I think sharing that with those of you who are supporting our movement, I think also is important, so you can understand the different ways that you support Tibetans in this movement. So I think, yes, those are a few words that I wanted to share with you, and thank you all for joining us in this commemoration. Tomorrow, for those of you in the United States, we have also a petition that maybe Tsutimla can share with you all later, that goes to support this legislation in the Senate, in the US Senate. We are getting, as Tsutim said, we are busy because we are preparing for our lobby days. Tomorrow, tomorrow is March 10th. We have a procession here. And then on Monday and Tuesday, we have 2 days when we have almost 200 people coming to Washington, D.C., and we have over 100 meetings in United States with congressional offices, with senators and congress people asking for support on this important legislation. So that's why we are kind of hands full preparing for those for these events. So I thank you for allowing me and inviting me to speak with you all today. Thank you very much.